Under the United States Constitution, it states that the losers of war do not get to sexually procreate. This is stated specifically when it states that the womb of the sigil of our empire belongs to the woman. So, since women have the right and not the privilege to decline votes, the vote would be given back into the empire. So the empire would be the actually central point of where we reproduce. Since reproduction is done with the embryonic fluid would be a denotation of how our state was created, which was through pus. And pustule glands are actually the embassy by which we identify the state. The state would be a demeaning factor to us because the womb is enclosed back on the sigil itself. So when we talk about atomicism, which is a solipsist argument for the plethora of states, not only does the formal agreement to decline the reality principle of solipsism happen, the ability to recreate a embryonic sac in the brain is no longer in receptacle of who gets to be in control of their body. So bodies would be magical here. They are still in apparatus of who gets to control it. So the reason breeding isn't allowed in America under warfare pacts is because magic is a embassy of who gets to have control. So control is waged upon who gets to have multiplicity, and multiplicity is a gain advantage of anyone who has a pustule tract. And these pustule tracts of magic are actually lodged within the American Union itself. So this means under constitutional law, not only does the womb decrease in value because you lost war, the war itself would be a pustule gland upon picking itself. So if the pustule gland is not persuaded into defining terms of agreement, these pustule glands are magical rather than in embryonic fluid. So not only does the picking of these scalps happen to have the ability to send people on psychic trips, these psychic trips are also part of how you lost that war, which means you are looked down upon. Looking down upon someone means you are no longer in carrying capacity of their living constitution, which means you are no longer in their will. So their will would be declined because you no longer have the ability to reform. Reformation is done here because nobody agrees to you being part of a magical system. The only magical systems you can be part of are the magical systems of disunity. And disunity is a credit analysis and a credit crunch on a burning effigy called the state. And states exist to surplus your dismemberment from the entirety of the lobal tract, which is how you form into a scientific realist. And reality here would be whether or not you're able to accept the idea that breeding is still done forensically, which is done by the back of the lobe, which is to shotgun a conscious entity called the mitosine. And myosines are created to inert these bodies and then dysfunction them on their pragmatic end, which means you are lodging your embassy back into its crevice, which would be called a exonucleation. And if you exonucleate completely, you are forgiven of sin, which is to be a urgent care doctor in need of therapy.